Hi guys, this is Vitaly with AFT Dispatch and A2C Logistics, and in today's video, I'd like to speak with you about trucker complaints and how they've changed over the last couple of years. But first, roll the intro. Welcome back. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you to please like the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single release of our videos, where every Friday we're talking about something that could benefit you in your trucking businesses, in your trucking careers, as well as cover the loads we've successfully booked for our customers, consisting of leased town owner operators and carriers operating under their own MC authorities, running under our truck dispatch services. As always, guys, big thank you for all the likes you provided in all the previous videos. Please do keep them coming, and let's talk about this recent survey that was looking at different trucker complaints or how they've actually changed now in 2024. Truckstop is the company that ran it, so very reputable. They actually surveyed 2,000 carriers. Now, as a refresher, if you were to do the survey a couple years ago, and they did, the results were that most truckers, most small carriers, most owner-operators were saying that, hey, look, high fuel cost, big issue, really on top of, or in front of everyone's mind, if you will. Low freight rates was a big deal. Too many trucks on the road, or, capacity issues. And finally, too much freight fraud. We were definitely seeing major increases of freight fraud in the industry. Now we have new issues in 2024, besides, of course, fuel cost and, having low freight rates, which continue, all kinds of other issues. Those things, they remain the same. But what are some of the new things that truckers are concerned about? And what it really comes down to is rising insurance costs. This is a very big deal. Rising insurance costs are, or have been found to be, a significant challenge in 2024. Out of these 2,000 people, or out of these 2,000 companies, these were carriers, 60%, actually over 60% of them, or over 1,200 out of the 2,000, consider this to be, that was a number one thing that's on people's radar. Now, a 2024 survey, a different survey, also recent, I think it was done in January or in February of this year, very recent. The survey showed that most owner-operators, they actually expected premiums to increase this year. They expected actually insurance costs to increase, which would then be followed by increases to your premium. So they actually expected insurance costs to go up by between 10 and 30%. So how we account for the increase in premium is up to you, but an increase is an increase. Now, speaking of that, if you were looking at the numbers for 2021 to 2022, 1 year, premiums actually went up by 3.4 cents per mile on all your miles, okay? Now, what's interesting is that for the same period of time, large carriers saw a decrease in their insurance premiums, okay? So it's kind of interesting, do insurance costs vary based on your fleet size? Because cost is a cost. A premium is a totally different thing. So the next thing that owner-operators in the survey, these carriers in the survey, complained about for 2024 is rising equipment costs, as well as very expensive financing, because equipment is still too expensive, hard to come by in many cases for brand new stuff, can often be expensive if you're looking for something very specific, and financing is just expensive all around with the rates that we have currently on, equipment loans, mortgages, car loans, what have you. It's all very expensive. The final thing that they're talking about is, a major complaint was regulations and compliance. Over 35% of the respondents in this 2,000 carrier survey basically said that, having to keep up with all the EPA guidelines and rules, regulations, FMCSA, your local DOT office, and nationally having all these different rules and regulations, so much shifting, makes it really difficult to figure out your strategy in terms of planning your equipment moves, upgrading, downgrading, besides having the issue with rising equipment costs, financing costs, insurance costs, already expensive, fuel, very low, revenue generation, things like that are already in place. So this is actually making trucking very difficult for carriers, small and large, from what I'm seeing. And the final thing that they talked about is a lack of parking. Parking is a top problem. It was about 30% of the respondents also felt that parking and safe parking spots were a big issue that that should be worked on. And ultimately, everything encompassed to cover these costs, to return to equilibrium, to get yourself back on track. Carriers have had to and have continued to work additionally. An additional 12% of loads per month is taken by these carriers in order to find that that back to where they were, basically 12%. That's a lot of freight. Guys, would love to hear your take on this. What are your numbers? Does this sound about right? Do you have other complaints? Would you agree with this generally? Let us know in the comment section below. Please smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. I'm going to switch over the camera. We're going to look over loads that we booked for our customers. The numbers are very good. I'm very, very happy. So I'll see you guys in just a moment. Welcome back. Let's take a look at some of these loads. Guys, it was a good week. Vans, reefers, flatbeds, everyone did quite well. Now, there's going to be a lot of freight, so I'm going to go through this a little bit quicker than normal. If you have any questions, the comment section below, call or text us at any time. Guys, we're going to start off with Milagros in his reefer. Bolingbrook, Illinois, and Melrose Park, Illinois. 2 picks, 3 drops going to Prescott, Wisconsin, Minneapolis, and Northfield, Minnesota as the last drop. A super light load, 9,150 pounds of beverages and meal replacement bars. 479 loaded miles, booked at $1,600, got him 334 loaded mile. An excellent job. Then 2 picks, 3 droppers coming out of Cannon Falls, Minnesota, and Lime Spring, Iowa, going to Oakland, California, San Francisco, and Carson, California as the last drop. 40,500 pound load of fresh beef set at 20 degrees on a reefer. 2,471 loaded miles, booked at $4,300, got them $1.74. Now you might think that's not a lot, but that's not a bad rate, especially where they're going. Took a load out of San Bernardino, California to Sacramento, California, Tracy, California, and back to Sacramento, California on a round trip basis. 36,000 pound load of cheeses, juices, guacamole, fresh sauces, things like that. Reefer was set at 29 to 33 degrees on a reefer, 565 loaded miles, booked that at 25.50, got him 451 per loaded mile on that one. So an excellent job there. Ended up actually doing quite well. Wednesday to Wednesday, grossed $8,450 in gross, ran 3,515 loaded miles at an average of 240 a loaded mile in today's market, over $8,000 in gross. Only had 87 deadhead miles in total, so an outstanding week for Milagros, an outstanding week for his dispatcher. Definitely great job for both you guys. This reefer certainly earned its oil change. So way to go, guys. Next, we got Norman and his flatbed, not to be outdone. Mooresboro, North Carolina, going to Houston, Texas. A 40,000 pound load of zinc ingots. 992 loaded miles, booked at $2,050. Got him $207 a loaded mile. And then out of Spring, Texas, going to Santan Valley, Arizona, Goodyear, Arizona, and a final in Denver, Colorado. It's a super light load, lots of miles, 5,200 pounds of fiberglass elbows. Tarping was required, of course. 2,112 loaded miles, booked at $6,200. Got him $294 loaded mile on a super light load. Finalizing in Colorado, which is not a bad place for a flatbed, especially at just under $3 a mile. An excellent job, Norman. You guys got a good one. So that was it for the week. Friday to Friday, ended up grossing $8,250 in gross, ran 3,104 loaded miles at an average of 266 a loaded mile, only had 24 deadhead of miles for the entire week. An excellent week for this truck, for this driver, for the dispatcher. Couldn't ask for anything better. That's awesome. Really great job. Next, we got Tex with his dry van coming out of Front Royal, Virginia, going to Lebanon, Tennessee. 35.3 thousand pound load of paint. Hazmat certification was required. He got that taken care of. 570 loaded miles, booked at $2,000. Got him $351 a loaded mile. Then a big one. 1 pick, 7 drops coming out of Horse Cave, Kentucky, going to Birmingham, Alabama, Northport, Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama, Opelika, Alabama, Troy, Alabama, Dothan, Alabama, and a final in Daphne, Alabama. So it's a 1 pick, 7 drop, 41,000 pound load of hardwood, 916 loaded miles, booked at $2,100. Got him $229 per loaded mile, and took a load. Next one, last one for the week, Gulfport, Mississippi to Atlanta, Georgia, Greenville, South Carolina, Spartansburg, South Carolina, and a final in Piney Flats, Tennessee. So one pick, four dropper, 44,000 pound load of palletized countertop, 709 loaded miles, booked at 2271, got him 320 per loaded mile average. So one good load after another. Tex, you guys did it. Friday to Friday, grossed $6,371 in gross, ran 195 loaded miles, and got an average of 290 per loaded mile average. So an absolutely excellent job. Very, very efficient stuff. And, you know, I couldn't ask for better. Maybe a little bit lighter freight, but can't have it all, you know. Next, guys, we're going to move on to a drive-in. Tariq is the driver coming out of Adairsville, Georgia, going to Houston, Texas. 42,000 pound load of freight of all kind, FAK, 803 loaded miles, booked at $1,900, got him 237 a loaded mile. Then Stanford, Texas, and Wiener, Arkansas, going to Oak Creek, Wisconsin. It's a 43,000 pound load of apple straws, cinnamon straws, things like that. 1,177 loaded miles. Booked at $2,800, got him 238 a loaded mile, and it finished off strong at a Watertown, Wisconsin. Going to Lugoff, South Carolina. It's a 45,000 pound load of retail goods, 915 loaded miles, booked at $2,000, got him 219 per loaded mile on that one. Friday to Friday, Tariq ran $6,700 worth of freight, 2,895 loaded miles at an average of 231 a loaded mile, and only 80 miles of deadhead in total. So a very, very good job for Tariq and his dispatcher. Excellent job, guys. Let's take a look. Next, we got Justin in his dry van coming out of Jacksonville, Florida, going to St. Louis, Missouri. Super light load, 4,400 pounds of yeast, 900 miles on the dot, booked at $1,585, got him $1.76 to come out to Missouri. Then right out of St. Louis, Missouri, zero deadhead, took a load to Maumelle, Arkansas. It's a 44,000 pound load of beverages, PepsiCo products, 356 loaded miles, booked at $930. Got him an easy 261 per loaded mile, 600. Then they took a last load out of Altimer, Arkansas, going to Jerome, Idaho. It's a 43,000 pound load of recycled PCR polyethylene. It's a 1,714 loaded mile run, $3,900 booked, got him 228 a loaded mile on a ton of miles coming out to Idaho in his drive van. He'll come out good. So Justin did a great job Friday to Friday, 7 days on the road, $6,415 in gross, 2,970 loaded miles at an average of 216 per loaded mile average, and only 61 deadhead miles in total. So an excellent job, Justin. And then moving on to, let's take who's next. We got Rogelio. Rogelio in his drive van. Coming out of Memphis, Tennessee, going to Mentor, Ohio. It's a 44,000 pound load of polymers, 748 loaded miles, booked at $1,800, got him 241 per loaded mile average. Excuse me. Then Montgomery, Ohio, going to Russell Spring, Kentucky, 33,000 pound load of polymer packaging, 424 loaded miles, booked at $961, got him 227 a loaded mile. Then Burnside, Kentucky to Jeffersonville, Georgia, 45,000 pound load of miscellaneous products, 417 loaded miles, booked at $940, got him 225 on that one. And it finished off real strong out of Perry, Georgia, going to Winchester, Kentucky, 43.5 on a load of cardboard packaging, 482 loaded miles, booked at $1,300, got him an easy 270 per loaded mile coming out to Kentucky. Now, Rogelio ran Friday to Friday, but actually only had 6 working days. So in 6 days, he ended up grossing $5,001 in gross, ran 2,071 loaded miles at an average of 241 per loaded mile average, working those 6 days. So a great job, nothing too crazy. Some of the freight, might have been a little bit more tougher than others, a little bit heavier than others, but nonetheless, did a great job. Is going to find himself in an excellent market. Last but not least, we're going to look at Marat. I believe this is the first time or the second time Marat has made it onto our videos. He runs a dry van. Awesome guys. Been dealing with it, working with his son a little bit here and there, and definitely a fantastic customer. Coming out of St. Louis, Missouri with his dry van, coming out to Burka, North Carolina. It's a 44.5 load of aluminum coils, 914 loaded miles, booked at $2,000, got him 219 a loaded mile. Then Morehead City, North Carolina to Texarkana, Arkansas. It's a 39,000 pound load of raw materials, 1,175 loaded miles, booked at $2,200, $251.55. Got him a $1.92 coming out to Arkansas to North Carolina. Then took a load out of Queen City, Texas, going to Prosperity, South Carolina. It's 44.5 load on the packaging materials, 867 loaded miles, booked at 1925. Did an excellent job at 222 per loaded mile average. Now Marat ran for 7 days, Friday to Friday, grossed $6,176.55, ran 2,956 loaded miles at an average of 209 per loaded mile average, and managed to only get 90 deadhead miles in total. An excellent job, Marat. Welcome back, and thanks for sticking around. Guys, as you can see, the rates are coming back up at least for one more week. Vans, reefers, or flatbeds, if you got them, bring them over. If you're a carrier under your own MC authority or a leased on owner operator who likes to work under other companies' MC authorities, we lease on owner operators and we work with carriers under their own MC authority. Guys, we've been doing this for a very, very long time. We have a lot of information. We have a lot of these videos that we provide to you guys every Friday at 5:30. Put these out. We do our Sunday live shows, all in an effort to help you guys during these difficult times. And also in the past when the markets were, deeply down and the truckers were deeply down and things just were not looking up. We want to make sure to provide you guys a really good service. We want to provide you guys in good information, the types of freight that others may not be able to snag out there. And ultimately it comes down to tenacity, experience, stick-to-itiveness. It's the ability to actually run the trucks in the current market that you have available in the most efficient and effective way possible. That's what we've been doing for well over a decade. Would love to hear from you guys. If you're carriers or owner operators, all you got to do is call or text us at 801-448-6363 or go to our website at aftdispatch.com. And until next week, guys, stay healthy, be wealthy. Take care.